Hi guys, welcome back to Sew with Tara. And if you are new here, you're welcome. On this channel, I teach people how to sew, the mistakes that most beginners make while venturing or starting the journey of fashion business, and tip and you know tips on how to improve your craft, how to be better at what you do, and how to grow without confusion, without pressure, and how to get things right. Okay. So today, what we are talking about basically is sometimes after sewing, after making your clothes, you wonder why it's too tight, it's too loose, it's not fitting, it's not looking all put together and classy the way you want to do it. It is not always about the sewing, it is mostly about your measurement. Okay, so today we are talking about body measurement. I know some people will feel like, what's the big deal about body measurement? Is it not to just measure someone? Body measurement is beyond that. Like, it is the foundation of your clothes. If your clothes is going to come out good or bad, it has to do with your body measurement. Imagine cutting well, doing everything right, but you did not get your measurement right. That will just waste all your efforts, and you just say like, okay, I did everything right, what is going on? So today we are talking about body measurement. So I'll be using my textbook to explain, and the little notes that I jot down for you guys, because I believe in theory and practical. When you tell people something, then you practicalize it. So the two will work together. They will know the reason why they are doing something the way they are doing it. So it will be easier to assimilate and repeat. I mean, if you forget the theory, you probably might not forget the practical. And if you forget the practical, you can always go back to your notes and check. Do you understand? That is why I believe in theory and practical. All right. So let's start what we came here to do. So measurement. Let's define measurements. What is body measurement? I have two definitions here from my textbook and from my research, because like I want to put a term to it, like a definition to it. We all know what body measurement is, but mostly when they say, oh yeah, come and define body measurement, we cannot really put it in words. Do you understand? So that is why I want to define it for you guys. All right. So body measurement. What is body measurement? Body measurement is the process of taking accurate body size to make a cloth, so that it will fit well and be comfortable. Do we understand? That is the first definition. The second definition is measurement is defined as taking accurate or correct data of a body that you want to make a cloth for. That is it. It's as simple as that. All right. So what are the things that could affect your body measurement? What do you need to take an accurate body measurement? First thing you need to do is pay attention to your tape rule. You ask me, why are you saying pay attention to your tape rule? See, one thing I notice is if you take two tape rules, they are rarely the same. So if you are using a tape rule to take measurement, make sure you use that same tape to measure when you want to draft or when you want to cut, or you make sure that the tape rule that you want to use to cut is the same as the one you have the assurance that all my tape rules are of the same calibration. Do you understand? So first thing and the most important thing in your measurement is your tape rule. So once you get your tape rule, the second thing is just your client, the person you want to measure. Those are the two things that you need when you want to take body measurement. All right. So before we go further, I wrote something here that a good measurement is the foundation of a good sewing. If measurement is wrong, the clothes will not come out well, and that is it. That is just it. Okay. So after your basic and the most important things that you need to measure, the next thing that I feel, that I know and I'm sure of, is to get the style for the clothes you want to, the style you want to make. Get it and look at it. Yes, sometimes it helps. There are some styles that you need to take some measurements that are not the regular. Do you understand? Sometimes you have to like take some measurements that on a good day your mind will not even go there, that you should take it. But if you're looking at the style, you will try to analyze, okay, if I want to make this place, do I need to measure? If I want to make this place, how many inches should I take? Do you understand? And if you are a beginner, if you want to take if you want to cut your neck, there's someone that has been in the business for a long time will know that, okay, if I want to cut a deep neck, I know the measurement that I will use. If I want to cut a shallow neckline, there is the measurements that I can use. But as a beginner, there is no There's no shame, there's no big deal in measuring even the depth of your neck. Okay, ma, how deep do you want the neck? Is it okay here? Is it here? Should I bring it up? Do you know? So when you see the style that you want to make, the style line is where it will stop. You measure, okay, from here to here, I'll have a style line. From here to here, I think it is good. Do you understand? So that is why I always say that if you want to take a measurement, make sure you have the style that you want to make, the style that you have in mind, so that you will know where else to measure that is not part of the basic body measurement. Are we clear? Thank you. And when we are talking about measurements, it's not just the clothes that you measure, please. You need to measure the fabric too. Okay, so we measure two things. You measure your body, the body you want to make the clothes for, and then you measure the fabric that the person is bringing, or the fabric that you want to use. Okay, if you're the one that wants to get the fabric, I think you don't really need to measure. But then, if someone is bringing the fabric, you have to measure it. That's just it. You have to measure it. Okay, so the basic part of the body that you measure, I will list them out. I will say the possible mistakes that people make, then we'll go to the practical class so that I can show you what I mean by the mistake or the tips to take a better measurement. Okay, so the first one I have here is the bust. The bust measurement. Okay, fine, let's start with this. We have vertical measurement and we have horizontal measurement. The vertical measurement are the point on the body, like the vertical. Vertical is like this, up to down. That's vertical. Horizontal is left to right or right to left. That is like this. So the vertical is for point. That means from your shoulder to bust, your shoulder to under bust, your under bust to waist. So those are the points, body points. Okay, and then your horizontal measurement is for fullness of those points. Do you get? So now let's go to the places that we measure on the body. The first thing I will say here is the shoulder. The shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement or back measurement. Some people call it shoulder measurement and some people call it back measurement, or I call it shoulder measurement. All right. So the shoulder measurement is measured by placing the tape on one end of the shoulder and spreading. And then you spread it across to the other end of the shoulder. Okay. This is one point. This is another point. It's not coming like this. It's going like you're doing it at the back. So this point to this point, that is your shoulder measurement. All right. Then your bust measurement. Your bust measurement is the fullest part of your chest. All this place up like this is chest. So the fullest part of the chest, that is your bust measurement. Okay, that's your bust. We are not talking about bust fullness now. We are just talking about bust. So that is your bust. Okay. Then we have the waist. The waist is the smallest part of your upper body. Yes, the smallest part of your upper region. So from your under bust to your hip, your upper hip. We have upper hip, we have lower hip. Okay, so from your under bust to your upper hip, that is where. So the next measurements we have is the hip. All right, so the hip is the fullest part of your lower part, the fullest part of the lower part of your body. That means from your upper hip to your bum area. Do you understand? So that is where you find your hip. And when you are taking your hip, you take the widest part and the fullest part. There is a way you do it, because sometimes the widest part is not the fullest part and the fullest part is not the widest part. So it is advisable that you capture the widest and the fullest. It's not always too far from each other. So it depends on how you place your tape. So after the hip, we have the thigh, we have the back half length or back waist, we have knee, and we have the full length of the clothes that you want to measure. So now the tips that I have for you: when you are measuring your bust does not have to be snug, like you don't have to tighten it. It doesn't have to be loose either. You just have to put it around, just around, not too much tension or pulling together, and not too much space. If you need allowance, you add your allowance after taking the actual measurement. Okay, so when you want to measure any fullness, you do not tighten it. Don't tighten it. You just place it around it to get the exact measurement. Then if you need allowance, then you can add your allowance after. Okay, the same thing goes for the hip and the waist when you are taking your measurements. And then for your horizontal measurement, I noticed that people make that mistake. You take your point measurement from, okay, I was supposed to say vertical. Okay, you take your measurement from the highest part. See my neck, the point where your shoulder is connecting to your neck, the highest part of your shoulder here, that is where you take your measurement from. You don't place it in the middle, you don't place it by the side, you place it on the highest part of your shoulder. Yes, of your shoulder. Okay, because shoulder is not the same height. It's not the same height. So you get the fullest, the highest part of your neckline, of your shoulder to take your measure. Okay, now let's head to the practical class. Before we go to the practical class, I want to mention the mistakes that people make in measurement. Okay, the first thing, I think I've mentioned it this earlier, is when you pull your measuring tape too tight, where you can visibly see tension. Imagine taking a measurement, and because the person said she wants her clothes fitted, and you're taking it like this. Can you see? This is too tight. This is it. Just around the body, no space. You can see there's no space, but it's not too tight. There's no space when you look at it right, but you see, do you get? It's not like I'm adding space, but it's not tight. It's not tight. It's not until you see the visible line before you see that you are taking a tight measurement, a measurement for a tight cloth. Just, it has to relax, no space, but you don't have to tighten it too much. Okay, the next one is adding allowance while measuring. Like I said, if you want to add allowance to a cloth, you take the normal measurement. After taking the normal measurements, if you are not cutting, that's when you know the amount of allowance that you want to add. You don't add your allowance while measuring and you now say, like this, it's okay. No. And it is applicable in men's clothing, okay, but in female clothing, no. Because I know that most men, when they measure their clothes, they measure it with allowance, but in female clothing, it's not allowed. So when you see male tailor doing their own thing, their own is different from female. Okay, thank you. The next one is measuring over a thick fabric. Measuring over a thick fabric. If the person you want to measure is wearing something thick, you tell the person to go and wear something light. Okay, so that the thickness of that cloth will not add to your measurement. Are we good? Okay, the next one is using a stretched tape rule. Okay, when your tape rule is stretched, like this one now, I believe it's kind of stretched. See, I've used it over it for a very long time, so the heat has already made it stretched. Okay, so your measuring tape should not be stretched. Over time, your tape will expand, so it tends to stretch. That's why if you buy a new tape sometimes and you use it to measure your old tape, the older tape is sometimes and mostly longer than the new one. Okay, and the person not standing upright, that's the next mistake. The person you want to measure has to stand very well. It's not like the person will be slouching or will stand and bend to one side or just stand anyhow. The person has to stand upright but relax. The way the normal standing this thing, the person cannot slouch and the person cannot throw body away. You cannot die. You understand, Yoruba? Okay, and the last one is not double checking. There is no problem when you measure something. I remeasure to confirm your measurement. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Now let's go to the practical class.